Alright, so Specter Ops, also known as Specter Ops Shadow of Babel. All of us, except for Aaron, are playing people who actually work for the Raxon Corporation. We are employees, also known as hunters. And he is playing an agent who is basically an ex-employee who has become disillusioned with his job, so he quit. And he is going to be destroying various structures within this game. If you notice, the way the game board is laid out, you've got these kind of grid numbers, but then you have structures that have no numbers. These are spaces that we cannot occupy, and these are spaces that block line of sight. And they're also potential targets. If you notice, there are lots of them. There are potential targets for the agent. He is going to have 4 targets in this game out of all of this stuff. He only needs to destroy 3 of them. He can destroy all 4 if he wants to do like a high score thing or whatever. But he really only has to destroy 3 of them. Once he destroys 3 of them, he can make a beeline. These are the exit points. If you notice, these are the only places off the board. He will be starting the game here at N1. This is the only time we're going to know specifically where he is in this game. He will be moving in secret, and unless we see him, we won't know where he is until he destroys stuff. Then we will have a slight idea of where he might be. And unless we see him, he can potentially get away. So just be aware of that. We will talk about our powers and that sort of thing after I explain the rules, and then he's going to assign our roles. He gets to pick whether we're legit part of Raxon or if we're a traitor pretending that we still have a job here. So I'm going to go through Raxon Global's memo that was sent out to all of us, and then there's going to be a little missive from the agent. So Raxon Global, humanity thrives on Raxon. This is a deactivated encrypted code. So ES Director Hartley, your position has been created to address an extremely pressing concern. In order to equip you for the task ahead, we felt it was necessary to upgrade your security clearance. The following missive is security clearance A2.G. An indeterminate number of employees have gone off-grid. They are calling themselves agents for a reclaimed kingdom, or quote-unquote ARC. The acronym references an ancient illegal religious text. We are unable to identify their leadership or their point of origin. What we know is that they are organized and either well-funded or possessing open access to our tech. ARC has earned the following criminal classifications: terrorist, embezzler, unemployed, murderer. Their attacks have already managed to temporarily interrupt power through wide swaths of Mex-Am and limited zones within the North Can. We believe this was a recruitment effort. With the grid down, they were able to move through the populace without detection. Thousands of employees have been killed. Others directly, or either directly or in attacks or in the chaos and hysteria that followed after. Your duty as a director of experimental security will be to adapt our human enhancement tech to the cause of hunting down these terrorists before they can do more damage, which is why a lot of us are playing things like robots. You're also human. You may look like a robot, Beth, but you're human.
You're not
Everyone's human, just enhanced.
You've just been enhanced quite a bit.
So has Beast. Beast does not look human. The puppet does not look human. I'm actually an
enhanced dog.
But yeah. He is made of flesh, whereas...
Yeah,
my flesh has been
maybe your consciousness got put into a robot.
The heart inside of chest.
Yep. You are hereby authorized to utilize all tech that falls under military gene splicing, cybernetic nanofits and retrofits, advanced experimental anti-personnel weaponry, and combat cloning. Standard chemical dependencies should be established to ensure cooperation and to maintain security. Secrecy and security, so we're all druggies too. Be aware, the terrorists of ARC seek to plunge our species back into the nightmare we originated from. They will not rest until humanity once again teeters on the brink of self-inflicted extinction. Your work will be instrumental in assuring this world stays united, working towards the single goal of off-planet travel and exploration. No disease, no violence, no pollution. Humanity thrives on Raxon. Or does it? Who's the bad guy? We're going to find out.
If one can look past the haze of myth that clouds the illegal oral histories, one can find the truth. There was a time when humans were more than employees. We used to be colorful, artistic, passionate, and spiritual. Raxon sought to cleanse humanity of its blemishes, but their brush scrubbed too deep. They stripped us of our soul. We have never felt our emotion rise and fall to the sound of an instrument played by human hands. For Raxon decided organic music was dangerous. Now we are fledglings generated by algorithms that Raxon feels will not interrupt the populace. We have never eaten juicy red tomatoes ripe off the vine. Instead, we only see the pictures on the jars and cans of the food we buy, though the actual food inside is tasteless and gray. All because Raxon decided we cannot be responsible to manage our diets. We have used the remainder. We used to remember those who came before us. We counted them as wise or foolish and learned from their mistakes and triumphs. But Raxon decided history was too full of dangerous ideas, so they incinerated our books. Raxon bombarded us daily with tasteless food, inspirational jingles, and mindless vids, all to keep us placated and surveil. How can we have souls when we are constantly filled with such poison? It used to be a person could decide the direction of their lives for themselves. Yes, it created conflict, and yes, it was inefficient. But humanity is not a device or a program made more efficient by increasing restrictive processes. Our DNA needs chaos in order to thrive. Without the uncertainty, we stagnate and die. We are more than just bodies inside the Raxon machine. Happiness is more than absence of misery. Thus we have risen up in rebellion. We fight for the real happiness, and when the forces of Raxon resist us, we will cause misery. We fight for our species' history and its future. We fight for its soul. ARC is aware that that there will be countless employees, fools blinded by the corporate bile, who will resist. So be it. There is too much at stake here to protect the purposely ignorant. We will consider those who side with Raxon as part of Raxon itself. And mark our words, Raxon will burn.
So, two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
We're obviously evil.
Right.
Well, basically everybody here except for one person thought that stuff that he just said was crap. I'm not going to talk too much about how Aaron moves because I've already explained those rules to him. Just be aware that he can move 4 spaces. We also can. We can move up to 4 spaces. You can move diagonally. That does count.
I can move 5.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying the base movement is basically 4. And you can move diagonally if you want to. No one can move through or see through structures. The agent cannot move through us or occupy the same space as us. The agent can, however, move through our car, which is right here. That's what this token is. He can also occupy the same space as the car if he wants to. We can also move through the car if we need to, if it's in our way. It's not considered a structure, and it also doesn't block line of sight when we're looking for the agent. Okay. Now the agent is going to he's going to keep his card secret until we see him. He's also going to have 3 secret equipment cards. Those cards don't get revealed until he uses them, and it says to reveal it. So there may be some equipment where he can mess with us, where we do not know what he's doing. We don't get to know unless, I think some of them are optional.
Some
you
of
can
them
choose.
say I have to.
And some say you have to, because if you throw a grenade, we know you did it. Most of the time. But there are some things that he can do with the equipment that he'll actually be keeping a track of it on a movement sheet, which is underneath that clipboard. It's hidden from us right now because his objectives are on there and we don't want to see those. He'll be tracking his movement on those things. He'll be tracking his health on those things. He has 4 hit points depending on what character he's playing the basis for. He possibly could have more. Okay. So essentially the game is going to start each turn with him going first. We get to decide what order we go in based on where we think he might be. So we'll talk amongst each other. He gets to listen, obviously, so he knows what we're going to be doing. But we don't have to go in a specific order. Okay. When he uses an equipment card, we won't necessarily know. He'll be marking stuff on his sheet. He can only use equipment a certain number of times, and he will also be tracking that on the sheet. So if you ever feel like that at the end of the game, but he's not being honest, we can look, but he's good enough at these types of games where he doesn't have to fudge an equipment use. These tokens are what we're watching out for. When he completes an objective and destroys a piece of equipment, he's going to place that, and we know he's somewhere around here. This also helps us keep track of how many he's done. Once he's hit 3, he's going to start booking it for one of these exits. So be aware of that. Because we're playing a 5-player game, and I'm just going to make this distinction for folks who do watch this. In a game with less than 5 players, we know where he's going. We have these out. We've got hidden intel. In a 5-player game, we don't know. We will not know until he actually destroys the device. Which one of these many, many things he is trying to break? We will have no idea. So that's fun. What if he starts a turn adjacent to one of his objectives? Usually it's a blue Raxon symbol. We won't see that though. When he starts his turn, he can flip over. Well, he can put the red token up, the arc token. You do not have to complete your missions in order, by the way. You just complete them however you want. Obviously, you don't have to do any of them. So yeah, you flip it over and then you take your turn normally. So you will be moving away. So all we know, if he were to, for example, destroy this, all we know he's in one of these spaces, and he's gone after. So he gets to move. So it's different, a little bit different from letters, because you do the same thing with letters of Whitechapel. You do move away. But we don't know the specific space you started from. We have to guess from a grid of like 9 to 12, or depending on where, it could be like one of these side things. Some of these areas are really super dark, and it's the same way on camera, so we'll always want to be calling out our letters and numbers. A lot of these can be read by the folks watching, but not all of them. Like A, the entire row of A, you couldn't see half of that row because when I panned away, you couldn't see anything. So I zoomed in a little bit. So just be aware of that. If there is a hunter on one of your escape points, you cannot escape that way. Even though, like if we're here, essentially you have to go to the actual space to escape. So if there's a hunter there, you actually can't use that escape space until they move. So just be aware of that. If you lose all of your HP, 4 or more, however many you have, you will lose the game, and we will win. If you cannot finish all 3 objectives of an escape by turn 40. So if you notice you have 40 slots on there, he'll be tracking his last location every time, and then we're going to try to find him. So what we need to do is we need to either prevent him from destroying everything by surrounding stuff, or we need to kill him before it hits turn 40 or before he escapes. So it's tough, especially since one of us is going to be a traitor. I'm going to explain the traitor mechanic last. And Aaron does not have to hand out his cards, the roll cards, until after he knows what all of our powers are. So we'll be talking about our powers, and then he gets to decide which of those is going to get changed a bit. What we can do is, there's 2 ways you can move. You can move up to 4 spaces using your hunter, so you escape, that you get off the car, and then you can move. Right now we're on the car, so we can't really do a whole lot. Or you can move while you're in the vehicle. Now, we can move 4 spaces. We are allowed to use diagonals just like the agent can. The car can move up to 10 spaces. It doesn't have to move all 10. So if we're all on here and Beth kind of wants to go over this way, she can move like 4 spaces, get off, and start moving off, and then somebody else can move another couple spaces and get off. But its total motion is 10 spaces.
Is this a legal move? Going from M1 to L2?
Yes, it is diagonal. Even though there's a structure that looks like it's in that way, it's just art.
So I was kind of curious.
Yeah, it doesn't block like some of those kind of more technical games. It only blocks line of sight. Okay. And you can't stand on it. That also blocks it. So we will assume these are like 15, 20 feet high.
I'm just curious for movement.
Yes, for movement. If it crosses that border, yes, you absolutely can. Like you could do this to this. Absolutely. All right. And even this one, see how it looks like it's hidden? It's not. It's just because this is really tall. Yep. So you can go from here to here if you want to. So the way the car moves, it cannot move down these alleyways. It can only move down roadways, and roadways are designated by areas that have a perforated line. They have 2 lanes. So this is a road, this is a road, this is a road. Does that make sense? So the car can move, and it can even move down that way. You can backtrack. Yep. But if you want to go that way and start moving to the bottom corner, so you can see the agent, like you go down 4, get off, and then you can go back if you want. It doesn't have to move in one direction. It just has a total movement of 10. Does that make sense as far as moving the vehicle? Excuse me. The other thing that I needed to talk about with the vehicle is...
It's mine.
Huh?
It's mine.
Oh yeah, you get to do a lot of really fun stuff with the vehicle. When you get on or get off the vehicle, your movement ends. So it doesn't end your action. You can do other things, but just be aware. If we all get off the vehicle immediately, we're just gonna all be kind of clustering around it, and we're gonna stop. So just be aware your movement ends. So if I want to get onto it real quick, I get on. Doom. I'm done. My movement. At the end of our movement, if the agent is in line of sight, he will place the figure. I'm going to use this instead of grabbing one of those. But let's say Ian ends his movement here, right? And we'll use this token as being the agent. And the agent is down here. He will place his token. I'm going to explain our line of sight in a second, but he will actually place the token. He'll place his figure, I'm sorry. He will not necessarily flip over his card. Actually, you will. You flip over your card, and you place your figure there. And so what that means is that's where he is right now. We know he's there. It's just the figure. If I end my movement and he is not in my line of sight, or in your line of sight in this case because I used your figure, he will say clear. He'll do this at the end of each of our turns. Each of our movements, I'm sorry. So be aware that that's one thing. If, while a hunter is standing somewhere, he moves through your line of sight, what he's going to do is he's going to place one of these tokens. Let's say he went this way. He's going to place his token there, and he's going to put his figure on it. So if there's a figure standing on top of the token, what that means is that was the last place he was seen. It does not mean he's there right now. So if you suddenly see him during his turn go poop and put his figure there, we know who the agent is. So if it's our first time seeing that, identifies him to us, but it also, that's the last place he was seen. It gives you an idea of where to go. Does not mean that he's anywhere near there anymore.
Right.
Because he could have run that way, he could have run that way, he could have run that way.
He could also go
out and gone back that way.
So
they're getting too close. Let me lure him away.
So just be aware of that. I'm going to leave you out for a second so I can explain some other stuff.
You're so upset by that. Look at you. You're like,
I know. To attack, here's how attacking works. You count the number of spaces you are away from the agent. So it does not count the agent space. So you count the spaces between, basically. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need to roll an 8 or higher to hit him on a 6-sided die. So it's unlikely. It's not impossible. If you roll a 6, you get to roll again. So nope. So I didn't hit him. If you do roll the number, though, if you do manage to hit him, you will do 1 point of damage to him. He'll mark it on his sheet. And you know, depending on how many hit points he has, you're closer to winning. It's the only way to really damage him. There are some powers that we might have that we can use. Excuse me. So just be aware, that's how that attacking works. The agent will never attack us, but he does have equipment that can affect us. And it doesn't cause like damage per se, but he can stun us. So just be aware, that's how, I'm sorry, it does count the agent space. So he's technically 9. It doesn't count your space, it counts everything away. So, so this would be 9.
okay.
So, you know, you might, if you're on the same space as the hunter, you don't roll a die, you just take a hit point. And if you roll a 1, you automatically miss, so I didn't even have a shot. And heck, there's no like botch rules, but a 6 is not an automatic hit. A 6 just means you're hopefully going to hit them because you can roll again. Here's how
What
hunter
happens if
vision.
you roll a 1 after you roll a 6?
It just gets added. It's not because your first roll was a 6. It's still possibly a hit. It's not an automatic miss. If you're in the vehicle, you cannot attack, by the way. It's only when you're out of the vehicle. And here's how line of sight works. I'm going to put him here for now. The way line of sight works is you can see a whole column up to stuff blocking you. So you can see all the way up to this, you can see all the way up to that, and all the way up to this. If you are on the road, you can see both lanes all the way. So in this case, you would go all the way to A7 and A8, which is below here, you guys can't see it. Or you can go all the way up to
there and all the way down to here.
yes. So there's some places
It's only straight lines, so not diagonals.
straight lines, and well, diagonals are part of the straight lines, but yes, it is a straight line of vision. So in this case, if I was standing here, I can see straight down here, but I cannot see this.
Okay.
I can see straight down here, all the way to this, all the way down to that other white thing, and then down to the compass.
But you can't see this. You
Yeah.
can't see this.
There's no diagonal vision unless you have a power that gives you that ability, which I do not believe any of the heroes do. So that's very important for Aaron to know so that he knows where to go. That is how our vision works. Vision in the car works the same way, although we do have a motion sensor, which I'm going to talk about right now. With the motion sensor, if you're in the car, I think you have to be in the car without moving. Let me just check. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, instead of moving, you can activate the motion sensor. I believe you can still move and activate it. We'll talk about that in a minute.
It no matter what.
Okay. But instead of moving, we can choose to activate the motion sensor. Any or all of us. If we do that, if the agent moved the agent 3 or more spaces... Jagoku916, thanks for joining. He says he loves me some Specter Ops. Yes, none of them have played this. I'm the only one here who's played it at least once. Sounds like it's hard, but it's really not. And it isn't. It's fun though. This is a great game if folks are a little bit intimidated by, say, Letters from Whitechapel or Fury of Dracula. I like how easy this one is to jump into it. It's really thematic. It does the themes super well. But it's really, really fun. But the way the motion sensor works, if you move to your character, Aaron, 3 or more spaces, you have to announce which direction you are relative to the vehicle. The compass is here. It's also on your sheet. Okay. So if you moved 3 or more spaces, you could say something like, you detect motion in the northwest. Okay. And you're going to kind of say northwest, northeast, that kind of thing. If the agent is on a space that is on the same row or column as the vehicle, in that case, you would say north, south, east, or west. If you're actually in that same row, we get a better sense of you. However, if you did not move 3 or more spaces, we don't detect anything. You'll just say we don't detect anything. It gives us an idea of how many spaces you moved.
Yeah.
But that's all we get for info. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you're on the same row, so if you happen to be here, you'll say you detect motion to the north. So we now know you're in the same row somewhere. If, however, you're here,
you're just one space over.
Yeah,
it's just northwest.
Northwest. So be very cognizant of that, so that you don't accidentally give away too much info that you don't have to actually disclose to us. Now, there are some abilities that will cause us to become stunned. I do not believe the agent can be stunned, but we can be, and it's this little triangle symbol. We'll put it on our cards, which folks don't actually see our cards. I think I can get my card to show. Let me see. There we go. We can kind of show our cards that way. Yep, Ian's card shows. Beth will show if she puts it sideways. Yeah, like that. And it's just that we can see what the status is, like if you're stunned, so viewers will know what players are stunned. If you become stunned, oh, I can move your name.
No, she put
No.
mine so that it's now covered by my name.
It says the Prophet Ian now.
I have no powers. I am just.
Can you do it like that so it's Ian the Prophet?
No,
not
I'd have to raise it up.
Covering my face. No, actually, no. If you slide me over like this, now my character is like gesturing to my nameplate. That's great.
Oh my god, we're nuts. But yeah, you would place one of these stun tokens on your character. When that happens, you can only move 2 spaces during your turn, up to 2 spaces during your turn. And then at the end of your turn, you remove the stun marker. So it basically just affects your movement, to be honest. You can kind of move around, but you're
so you can still use your abilities?
Yes. Yep, you can, nope, you cannot attack. Well, you can use your abilities, but you cannot attack. So if your ability is to attack, you can't. So you can't attack, and you can only move up to 2 spaces. If you have other types of abilities, like your ability to remote control the car, you can still do that. Now, the other thing to be aware of is we're all going to have a roll. That's really it as far as other than our abilities and the stuff that he'll be throwing at us. But we also will have a traitor that Aaron's going to hand out once we talk about our things. Yeah. If you're a traitor, the card he gives you is going to be a red card. Everybody else is going to have a blue card. And it will say agent on it. When you're the traitor, you will not know his objectives. You won't know where he specifically is going to break things. You don't know any of that. Whenever the agent crosses the vision of the traitor, though, he will say clear. If he walks past or through your line of sight, he will not be placing his token. So an easy way, one way the traitor can be revealed is if somebody else moves up and he does get revealed, and you're like, wait a minute, he was in Ian's line of sight too, though. Now we know Ian's the traitor. Mm-hmm. So that's one way that the traitor can be discovered. It is possible for the traitor to never be discovered if the agent is careful, in which case the agent is just using the traitor as the patsy. However, the traitor is allowed to reveal themselves at any time. If you choose to reveal yourself, you will take 2 equipment cards from what's left over, and you will choose an agent from what's left over. So you will immediately reveal yourself as I may have looked like a giant werewolf, but in fact I was just a woman. You will actually, you're in disguise. You unzip and you pop out.
Now that would be super
this
creepy
one?
if you start out as the puppet and then you turn into that giant, like, creepy robot thing with the extra arms. Be like, what the fuck is that? Pardon me, sorry. What the hell was
okay.
that? But yeah.
You actually became like one of the agents of
I gained
what's his
breasts
face,
as well.
Arachnos or something.
They're
You
knives
completed your
on.
quest, so you got the backpack.
Yeah.
Just knives on poles.
Or it becomes Rhino. If you were like the tiny prophet, you're just like boom, you just bulk up. It was a hologram. It was you had like a hollow thingy on you.
Well, he's kind of like...
It's like Nightcrawler.
He almost kind of looks like the early stages of Apocalypse, like before he got like super huge.
He goes Super Saiyan
So,
and
yeah.
he's the agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so be aware that right at first he's just kind of using you, but you can reveal yourself if you want to. Sometimes it's good not to, because if you do get revealed, the only way for the traitor and the agent to win is the agent still has to blow up his 3 things, and both of you have to escape. But we get to see you move.
Right.
So, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. We don't get to see you move. We only get to know what agent you are.
Okay.
And then you get a movement sheet, and you'll be using that to move. Yeah, you'll turn invisible if he does.
We're like,
But you still have to escape,
vanish.
and you can't escape until he gets his stuff blown up. So it's possible we could kill you and cause him to lose the game. So think about that. If any of you become the traitor, well, one of you will be a traitor. But think about that before deciding whether or not you choose to reveal yourself. The other thing is you can at the start of any turns. At the start of any turns, you can call a vote to restrict a hunter's access to the vehicle. So if you're suspicious of somebody and they haven't revealed themselves, you can be like, I vote that like Sue can't use the vehicle anymore. And the guy's like, nah, she's okay. But if you are suspicious, you could say no. Of course, if we're wrong, and Beth's the traitor, she'll be like, sorry, boom, make the vehicle move.
Well, my question
Sue
is...
is suspicious.
Well, the other side of it is it's called... How does that work for like someone who's controlling the puppet? Because it's basically like, we've locked you out of the vehicle, but you can use it anyway.
She's not going to care, so she's going to vote all for it. She'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think what they mean is like if they vote that the puppet can't get in the car, then the puppet's just like, fine, I drive you this way.
I mean, if you don't stop my ability, I will use the vehicle anyway.
Right.
Yep.
I won't be
true.
in the vehicle, but I will use it.
Yeah.
It's true. So but it prevents her from, beelining up towards the exit too if she happened to be the traitor.
Right.
So there's multiple reasons to restrict the access, but yeah, it's kind of funny with the puppet. It's
Yeah.
ironic.
It's like, sure, lock me up. Let's see if I can.
And that's
Basically, you just lock all of yourselves out of it.
Right. It's like, where's the car going?
So
I
now
can't
what we're
get
going
in
to
it, but I
do,
still
starting
do.
with the puppet, since we already talked about a little bit of your power, we're going to reveal all of our power so that Aaron has an idea of what we can do, because we don't get to know what he does, he can know what we do. And then he will he will assign our roles to us.
The Deadpool puppet, because, I'm sorry,
It does look like Deadpool.
the Deadpool puppet has the control relay, which instead of moving the puppet on a turn, you may move the vehicle, even if the vehicle is unoccupied. So I can call the Batmobile to me. And I also have remote sensor. So instead of moving the puppet on a turn, I may instead use the vehicle's motion sensor, again, even if the vehicle is unoccupied.
Okay.
Okay.
That motion sensor is really useful. It doesn't seem like it is, but it is.
So, I am the prophet.
Yeah. The prophet is.
I get +2 to my die rolls because I can read people's minds.
Nice.
And I have precognition. So players, which is everybody, including agents, has to announce when they are going to complete an objective next round, but not which objective they're going to complete. Just that if you're going to complete one, you have to announce it before
You do.
The turn before I blow
the
it
turn
up.
before you
Yep.
do it. And then postcognition. I may use postcognition instead of moving the prophet. The agent player must announce which space their agent was located in 2 turns ago. So,
Okay.
So you won't necessarily have to. I won't know where you are right now, but I'll know where you were, which might give me an idea of where you might be going. Maybe might also be useless, but we'll see. But that's my thing. So.
Nice.
I'm playing the beast, which looks like a lichen. I have enhanced senses. After moving the beast, if you move him 3 or fewer spaces, any agents within 4 spaces of the beast must declare that they are close. Brutal strength. When the beast...
That's a way to see around.
Yeah. When the beast ends its movement sharing a space with the agent, roll a die. On a result of 5 or more, the agent loses 1 HP. And quadrupedal move. The beast may move 5 spaces on a turn, but can only attack agents he shares a space with during that turn.
Wow. I'm playing the gun. Her first skill is sharpshooting, so I roll 2 dice when attacking with the gun. Quick draw. During the agent's turn, if the agent is spotted by the gun, roll 1 die. On a result greater than or equal to the distance from the gun to the last scene marker, the agent loses 1 HP. So even if you kind of pass through, I can be like, oof.
You graze me.
And then there's sniper shot. After moving the gun, if the agent is not visible, you may choose a direction, north, south, east, or west. The gun only has vision in that direction. If the agent is spotted, if the agent is spotted by the gun, if I do that and you're spotted, you lose an HP.
Okay. So you immediately shoot me because once I come into vision.
I'm like, I'm scanning, and because I'm taking so long, I can only do it in one direction because I'm using my scope.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you can only spot me in that one direction.
Correct, if I use that ability.
Okay.
So now you have to decide.
You all have powers I don't like.
They're good powers. That's the point.
I know.
We were specifically designed to catch you.
Just one of us doesn't
I'm
really
a
want to.
bloodhound.
Oh, sorry that you were cut off from the... We haven't actually started playing. We're just starting right now. Aaron's going to assign the roles to everybody. So you haven't missed anything yet. You got cut off.
You know what? Even I won't know.
You're going to randomly assign it? Oh, gutsy.
Well, at first, I will look at the cards, but then I will deal them out. That way...
You're not
No,
deciding. You're letting fate choose for you, but you're still going to know the traitor. Okay.
Yes.
Because I was about to say,
You're still gonna
holy
know.
crap.
Yeah, I'll know who the traitor... Because I need to for the specific...
Oh, right.
That's
you
true.
just won't decide who.
But I won't decide who will become the traitor.
Okay.
Give out the
Interesting.
cards this way. It makes it less likely for someone to have a gut guess of who I'm choosing
That's a good point. That is a good point, because we know your
as a
playstyle.
traitor as well. So, in this way, I don't have to choose which one of your powers. Actively choose which one of your powers is being turned off.
I think these are going to end up being yours, too. I just have abilities for this. Did you look at them all?
Yep, I did.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Roll and put it
Those
face
are for the
down.
gear. And I have to choose my 3 gear?
You get 3 pieces of equipment. Bear in mind which agent you're playing,
Yep.
because they might not be able to use that equipment. And you will also be going first.
Sucks that a lot of these are just one-time use, too.
Yeah. Some of them, even though they're one time, though, they're really good.
But yeah. It's just... all of them, but especially persons is one time.
Yeah. Also, this is a plaid hat game, so those of you who played My Mystics or Ashes, like we played last week,
Oh, okay.
they make good games. We have to do City Remnants again, too. That's another one that's really fun. That freaking Aaron did massive combos on.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't last
Those
time.
radios,
but-
man, oh my god.
Oh, yeah. Done.
Alright. So, do we want to move the vehicle and go up, or do we want some people to get off and work their way down? We know where you started, so if he has to go down, it's going to take him a little while to get there, so maybe we should start up here.
Is that supposed to be still on the board?
No.
Oh no, the token's supposed to
The
not be
token?
there.
What token?
That token.
Oh,
He started up there, right? that entrance. Yeah.
yeah. That's where he was for a little while anyway,
Mm-hmm.
as far as we know.
I'm open to suggestions.
Well, you can't find anybody to play Ashes with? That is what we heard last week too. Like nobody.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. Like
We did.
people in certain areas just don't seem to have anybody playing. To be honest, we're the only people that we know who have been playing it, which is too bad. I think that game is really fun.
I would
Kill
suggest
all
I
the
haven't,
time.
I haven't had a chance to watch last
Oh,
week's yet. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super fun.
Kill all
We'll
the
play it
time.
another time.
Never let the tigers live.
Mm-hmm.
They die.
Yep, the panther or those blue panthers are
Yep.
nasty.
Nope.
She learned because I was playing that
Yeah,
character.
those jaguars.
Oh, I was playing the character that completely gets shut down because of that. I could not do
I
anything.
pretty much got shut down from
Yeah.
it too. Yeah, can't do. It's hard to do anything when they immediately exhaust you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna call this exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call this exhausted.
And I never defended with him, so he was never exhausted
the
until that one you
psyker.
killed.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I didn't know.
It's a fun game.
I mean,
Really, really
yes,
fun.
we know he's up there.
Yep, that is right.
Honestly, I would suggest somebody get off
It is a good
here
cheap alternative
to go
to
this
Magic.
way to block off that area, and then somebody to continue all the way up. Somebody to get here and wait. Somebody to get off here and go that way, and somebody here to go this way. And then we have somebody here, and then the last person can go like that way, or however we see fit.
Mm-hmm.
Seems reasonable. Because we don't know if he's trying. I mean, we want to be able to.
'Cause he could be
position
going
ourselves.
anywhere.
He could be going anywhere.
He could be going anywhere. We just know he started somewhere that way.
Well,
so
since I don't necessarily, I have a power that doesn't require me to move very much, and actually benefits me if I don't. I can stick close to where we are now.
And just kind of cover
And
that
just-
whole area.
Then just kind of
Just
cover
hop
that.
out.
Just cover, so I can just hop out, cover that area.
Do you want me to come up here and cover some of this area with the sharpshooter ability?
And I'll go on that side
Sure.
to sniff around.
Okay, and you can move a whole lot too. So if you need, like, you can catch up if he kind of cuts his way down here. Yeah. Okay. So do you want to get off now?
Sure.
Okay. I'll let you choose. I mean, you have to pick which space to get off on, but it kind of stops you.
I would assume I'd probably want
You
to
probably
get
don't
off
wanna
at
get up there.
J22. I would think.
J22.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that would put me. That would still give me. I can't see this way technically. I don't think.
No.
Right? But I could see this way. That
well,
way.
actually, technically, if
Yeah,
you
you
got
should
there, you could
go
see
there.
that way.
But I
and then-
couldn't see down that way. I mean,
Okay.
either way,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna lose
Yeah.
the spot because
Yeah.
of how the board's designed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is better for now. I could always move, and it's not like I can't move myself down one to.
The only way
Best
is, yeah,
would
I'd
be
say the
here.
21. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
That's the
Because
best
that way
one.
you could see that
Oh,
way
that's
as
true.
well as this way, and then all of that.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Perfect. All right.
Okay.
That's where I am.
How
So
far do we
then-
want to move the car down? We can move a total of 10 spaces.
Can we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Mm-hmm.
and then do you want to jump up to go on that way?
I think I'm going this way to come in here, so I should be the one to jump off.
That's what I
Yeah.
was saying. You want to jump?
Okay.
off.
Because I think you were covering the upper part, right? All right, I'm gonna
I'm gonna be
do.
on the right somewhere.
That's fine.
Probably my best spot is right here.
Yeah,
To be
I would
honest,
think. For now.
I'm gonna sharpshoot into the compass.
So yeah, 1, 2.
Oh, and you're supposed to say clear.
Yeah,
I
clear.
will assume you're gonna be clear because you haven't had a chance to go anywhere yet.
9,
But
7, 8, 9, and that's 10. That's as much as far as we can go
This turn.
this turn.
that's okay. She can move to 5 spaces if she wants
I'll
to
get
go way up
off
there.
on D15, I guess.
D15.
Or that's not
It's
a
an
D.
O.
Sorry. It looks like a D.
I know the J.
D-
Oh, yeah, that makes. I was after I said it, I was like, "Why is D way over there?"
Sprouts a jetpack out of her butt and just flies over. It's like that dude in Warframe that just jetpacked up to the flippin' top of that room. I was like, does he have a jetpack? Where'd that come from?
I mean, if they're gonna teleport onto a ledge and start beating on me while I'm sniping people. I'm not happy with them. I don't care. All right, so that's another
Clear.
All right, since the vehicle is done moving, I am going to use the sensor.
Okay.
Northeast.
So he's in this area.
Wow. Sue's instincts were correct. She smells him. Jigo, who says that
Damn
he's more of a card
hippies.
gamer. He plays Magic, Netrunner, Conquest. I don't think I've ever played Conquest. Game of Thrones and Doomtown. Ooh. Slowly working your way into board games. That's awesome. I honestly started out as a card gamer
Let's see,
as
Aaron
well. Not
has-
quite as many as you though.
Has a hippie
I was mostly a
scent.
Magic player. I played
You smell like weed.
Vampire the
so
Eternal Struggle because I hated myself.
Hippie scent.
Oh my god, that game.
But yeah, once you played some card games, that is like your stepping stone. It's like
Yeah.
it's like pot, you know. It kind of
It's-
steps
it's-
you.
yeah, it's-
What they say about
Right.
it, just steps you into the whole world of other wonderful things.
Look at this! Look at this game. It has cards and a board. That's better, right?
Not always.
I know.
Although Thunderstone Advance is a deck building card game with a board,
Yeah.
which I have. We'll have to play that.
My at the convention last week, one of the people got a waifu deck builder game. I was like,
Oh my-
I'm like, I kind of want to play it, but it's kind of like the most horrible
Dark
thing
at
I've ever
the
heard
same
of.
time. Here's your preteen wife
Yeah.
with big eyes. Where could he be? Well, he's
yeah.
moving now.
Well, yes, he hasn't moved yet. Until he says he's done, he hasn't moved yet.
That's true. Until I say so, I'm not done moving. Alright.
I honestly don't think we're going to be able to broadcast during International Game Day. I don't know that we're going to be able to get the internet
Yeah.
on that side. A little bit of a bummer. But if Dan's running, I'm definitely going to go because I like to support the store.
Yeah, I brought it up to him. He said he was gonna start looking into ordering the stuff and whatnot.
Okay. I'll check with him in a couple weeks just to make sure. Because there's a guy, another customer, I think, that wants to do some stuff. And then there's some customers that came last year that want to go.
All right.
I may not get to shop at Zemmy's very much because I'm poor right now, but
Mm.
I want to support him as much as I can.
Definitely.
Okay, so he's done. What are we going to do now?
Maybe we should let Beast go first.
Do you want to let Beast go first, or do you want me to drive the car a little further and use the motion sensor again?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. You're still in the car, so you can just drive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, you can't drive. You have to use your thing to drive. Can you do that while you're in the car?
I can use it whenever.
The car itself.
Other
can
people,
move, and
other
then
people
she can
have
use
to be in the
sensor
car.
too.
Other people have to be in the car. Other people normally have to be in the car to use the sensor. I can use it even if I'm not in the car.
No, I'm just saying, though, you can't move the car and use the sensor is what the rules are, so I don't know if yours is different.
I can't move.
Okay.
And use it.
Which
Okay.
means essentially other people were driving the car until they got right where they were, and
Right.
then the
Yep,
puppet
and then she
activated.
didn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I said, I can activate it instead of moving. Or technically, I'm in it. So
The thing is you have this. If you move the car, you count it as
Right.
moving, so you can't activate.
well,
the
that's,
sensor.
what I'm saying is, how does it normally work?
Normally, when you don't, if you're in the car, you choose not to move, you just activate the
Okay.
motion sensor. Because you
So
just
it's the
stay in
same
place
thing.
and use the
Yeah,
radar.
Right. It's the same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's more helpful for you when someone else is in the car,
Right.
makes it move for you, and then you can
Right,
use
yes.
the ability.
Yes.
Yeah, which is what we did last time.
Yes. Which is why I was like, okay, because I can use it now because we know he was here, so he could either stay here, not move very far, and limit himself
And he
so
only
we can
had
track
to-
him.
He only had
Or he
to-
could
yeah.
he could have moved to try and get out of there. So if I use it again immediately, we'll know.
Okay.
All right. So I
I'm
will.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Northeast.
So he's still in the northeast, and he moved. Mm-hmm.
So then maybe we want the Beast to go next.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just gonna say this: the board looks so much bigger on paper.
Right? It does, doesn't it?
Really?
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
looks so much bigger on paper.
Because of the way it's drawn out.
On
This
the
stuff
board,
isn't-
it looks like there's like no room at all
Yeah.
to move. But on the paper, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why they did it. Like, I almost wish Whitechapel had something like that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's hard, without me being super obvious and going, staring at the thing,
Yeah, it would be nice.
or looking at it over there. If it was just black and white
3, 4.
and
That's
drawn
where
out
I
the
was
way it was
thinking
there,
of going.
I might make something
yeah,
like that. I wonder
Like
if I could.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go to there, or even to there. You can get to here and go.
Oh, yes,
You
all
Yeah,
clear.
that's
For you.
yeah, that's where I was thinking of going. So yeah, that's fine.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then which one of those rows?
The light
This one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where is that?
That's the S column.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's 10.
10.
Clear.